Hey everybody, I'm Chris and welcome to Board on the Floor. Today we're going to take a look at Brew. This is actually a 2 to 4 player game, so it doesn't actually have a solo mode. But I wanted to pick it up because the animation style and the actual gameplay itself looked really interesting. And it was the type of game that I thought I could really get my kids into, and maybe even my wife. So I picked it up over the weekend, and I wanted to do a what's in the box before I actually unwrapped everything and actually set it up on the table. It's a game designed by Stevo Torres and put out by Pandasaurus Games. So it is a 2 to 4 player game, takes about 45 minutes to an hour, and it's age 10 plus. In Brew, the point of the game is to gather ingredients, brew potions, tame creatures, and try to restore balance to the forest because for some reason the seasons are all out of whack and every season happens at the same time. So that is Brew. So let's open it up and take a look and see what's inside the box. The artwork is very cartoony, which I really like. So Brew, introduction. Time is broken and shattered. The seasons all exist at once, and day and night have no real cycle. They rotate at the whim of the forest. This enchanted land has been driven into chaos, and it's up to you, the cunning mystics of the forest, to tame extraordinary woodland creatures and use your magic to bring back balance. So here we have the rule book. There are 4 different characters you could play in the game. There's Lalo, Ren, Mila, and Lyric. Doesn't take up a lot of table space, looks like. Very few components. And it's a worker placement game, but your workers are actually dice, which I really like. I'm a big fan of rolling dice. And so on the dice, you have different symbols, which allow you to place them in different areas on the specific boards. Here's just a little ad for Pandasaurus. Different Pandasaurus games. Same company that made The Loop, Dinosaur World, Dinosaur Island, The Mind. Here we have our first token sheet. Yeah, I'm a big fan of this kind of like animation style. I don't know. Just reminds me of all the cartoons I watched as a kid. And I guess if you're a big fan of Cartoon Network and stuff like that, then you could kind of see the similarities to things like Adventure Time. I do believe this is the main board. And you can flip it one side or the other. You have day and night. And here we have our first pack of cards. So the idea is with your workers, you place them throughout the forests and on the main village so that you can gather ingredients. And with the potions you create, they can give you different powers when you drink them. And those powers can help you tame the woodland creatures. And of course, gather more points because the whole point of the game is to have the most points by the end. Different types of creatures that you can tame. And I do believe the colors probably associate each one with either a different forest area or possibly one of the characters. And here we have some of the potions. And the different potions give you different abilities. And it is a competitive game, so you're playing against one another. As you can see in the forest, it's like summer and winter at the same time. So the seasons are all out of whack. I do believe these are the forest cards. At the top here, there's a player aid. So it talks about the round sequence, roll dice pools. All players roll 6 dice. On your turn, in any order, place 1 die, brew 1 potion, drink 1 potion. End of round, claim controlled forest, use end of round creature powers, check for game end. Set up next round, take back dice, flip village board, reveal new forests, past first player. Reminder, once you're out of dice, you can't take any more turns this round. So there we have our player aids. And these look like they are the forest cards. So you can see the different symbols and the different ingredients you will get if you place a symbol, if you place a die in each of these areas. So each turn, a certain number of forest cards are laid out, and you could actually claim the forest. So if you have the highest number of dice on each of these cards, you claim them, but they have to be your personal dice, because I think there are personal dice and then just like generic dice you get to use. So those are the forest cards. And here we have 2 bags of dice. So you can see each color is for a specific character. And so those are the personal dice. And then I think these are just the generic ones you get to use. So if you have your personal dice placed on one of the forest tiles, if you have the most of your color, you get to claim the forest at the end of your turn. If you've collected a certain number of forest cards and they have the highest point value, the creatures that you collect, and I think also then the ingredients and potions, that ends up being how you can win the game. And so there's not a lot in this box, but as you can see, the artwork is really nice, very colorful and bright. You get a good amount of dice, and I really like rolling dice, so I'm excited to get this to the table and try it out. But it is a 2 to 4 player game, so it is a competitive game, and there is nothing in the box for like an AI opponent. But like always, when I play these types of games, I always try and see if there's an easy way to find a way to challenge yourself in a solo mode. And so once I get this to the table and I play it either against my daughters or my wife, or if I invite a friend over one day and we get to set it up, I'll see if there's an alternate way that we could play this where it's just you against some type of AI opponent. But there you have it. This is Brew from Pandasaurus Games, designed by Stevo Torres, where you get to restore balance to the forest after the seasons have kind of been thrown out of whack for whatever reason. I don't know if you get to discover why it's happening as you play the game or if it's actually explained in the rule book, but that's the setup, and there you have it. That is Brew. If you have any questions on the game or anything else, please leave them in the comments below. But for now, I'm just going to say goodbye, take care, and I'll see you next time. Take it easy.